Hey everyone. So today I wanted to talk about and bring awareness to the neurodevelopmental disorder that is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or more commonly known as ADHD. So I want to talk a little bit about what it is as well as how it presents itself in the different forms. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the advantages it can bring, as opposed to only the disadvantages. And also want to talk a little bit about resources that you can go to find more information about it. So to start off, what it is a disorder that causes the brain to have a deficit of the chemical known as dopamine. So ultimately, what this leads to is the brain essentially being unsatisfied, and kind of overall disinterested with a lot of things. This can present itself in mainly three different ways. The first one, which is, the one people are most familiar with and the one that is portrayed the most often in media, is the hyperactive way. So typically what this results in is just being really high energy. People like to use the term off the walls and just kind of having, your attention just shooting from, one thing to the next. The other way that it can manifest itself is inattentiveness. So this can result in, the most commonly forgetting things, just kind of a lack of general awareness in terms of, what you're currently doing, where you're supposed to be going, things of that nature. And then the last one, which is, I would say, the least talked about, would be impulsivity. So this can be kind of interpreted differently. Some people like to think of it as just, blurting out random things. It also can be, manifesting itself in terms of interrupting people. Also as, not really thinking about your decisions before you act upon them. So that is kind of, a little bit about how the symptoms present themselves. Some of the advantages that it can bring is it can lead to an increase in creativity. Due to the brain having a lack of stimulation, oftentimes people with the disorder will, seek out any means to feel satisfied. And that can lead them to finding all different types of forms of enjoyment and things. Things that most people typically wouldn't even consider to be entertaining. People with ADHD can find them to be highly entertaining. It also leads to an increase in enthusiasm. So one thing with people who have this disorder is that while they may lack attention in certain areas, the things that do pique their interest, they fine tune pretty much all of their attention onto that specific thing. And they can often directly and fully consume themselves in it, and often can find, really fast improvement and just achievement in that area and then excel at it. And then another advantage of it would be outside thinking. People with this disorder tend to view the world a bit differently than the neurotypical people. So oftentimes they'll be able to see things in a different way, that may lead them to a different result. This type of thing is usually something that can't be measured by normal means. For example, like standardized testing. Someone with ADHD, while they may come to the same answer as someone that does not have the disorder, the way they went about of getting the answer may be completely different, than what was originally taught of them. So there's a couple things that you can do to make yourself more aware of how it works, as well as, to get more information about it. There are various types of support groups. If you are someone who has the disorder like me, there is a ton of help for you out there. There is also a ton of books on the subject. It hasn't been researched as other disorders are out there, and it is still currently very underdiagnosed. But there is a lot of work that is being done to learn more about it. And then lastly, if you yourself feel, or someone you feel that they may have the disorder, there are also various forms of, counselors, therapists, and psychiatrists that can also be seen to help you come to a potential diagnosis, or, not being diagnosed, depends on how it goes. So with that, I would like to thank you for my presentation.